What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're taking a look at a brand new Spider-Man action figure, and this is from a new series that Hasbro has started doing called this Epic Hero series, and these are 4 inches tall. So that makes them slightly larger than the 3 3/4 inch traditional size for this style of action figure. The main reason I wanted to pick it up is because the articulation on this figure seems to be a little bit better than the sort of retro style figures that Hasbro had done for their 3 3/4 inch Marvel Legends series. And I can show you side by side. I have my example of Spider-Man from that particular series. So this figure is going to be slightly larger and slightly better articulation. And one thing I noticed is on this new figure, they actually seem to have skimped a little bit in terms of the painting details. So as you can see on this one, they have the black webbing painted on the rest of his outfit, and here they just didn't do that at all. So, which is unfortunate because I really feel like that's a detail that really should not have been, overlooked. I don't think you should cut a corner on that particular aspect to Spider-Man's outfit. And you can see in the pictures that webbing is obviously done in black in the illustrations, and actually in the picture depicted here, you can see the webbing is much darker in this depiction. So I'm wondering if they had originally planned to do it that way and then just couldn't get it done under budget. So the picture here shows it without that black webbing, but you can see this picture, this sort of concept rendering. Yeah, that black webbing is present. So yeah, I'm a little disappointed that they didn't do that. It is something that I could customize but by doing just a sort of light black wash with paint. It would fill in those little grooves and actually create the illusion of the webbing. But we'll save that project for another time. I mainly just want to review this figure as it is. And we are going to get this out of the package. The packaging style on this, I much prefer the sort of traditional carded look with the plastic bubble. I understand they've been trying to do this sort of plastic-free packaging. Not entirely successfully, though. As you can see, without the plastic there and just sort of hobbled together cardboard, it just looks very awkward, not very pleasing to the eye. So yeah, they're just not very successful in terms of trying to do the plastic-free packaging. The one thing I will give them credit for on this one is you can actually see the figure quite well. So the window is actually big enough so I can see even down all the way into the bottom there where I can see the feet. So I would say they were successful in terms of making sure that the consumer can actually see the product that they're buying. But in terms of overall presentation, it just it looks clunky. It doesn't really look as appealing as the traditional carded figures. So, but enough about the packaging. Let's go ahead and get this out of the package and take a look at the details up close. Okay, so we got this figure out of the package now, and he does come with one accessory. As you can see, he comes with this web detail. So this actually just clips onto his wrist to give the illusion that he is casting a spider web. So that's pretty cool. And this is one advantage over the Marvel Legends retro figure, which didn't include any accessories. So again, this is a plus for this particular figure, and that's obviously removable. Some pretty nice details on that too, so you can see what that looks like. So very cool that they included that. And in terms of the figure, overall I'm fairly happy with it in terms of the detail of the sculpting. One thing I noticed, they did the detail of the spider on his back. They also have these numbers here, which are highlighted for some reason. I don't know why they did that. To me, that seems unnecessary. And I may try to remove that because it really is kind of glaring. And again, I really wish they had done the black webbing in terms of the detail of his outfit. In the context of previous versions of Spider-Man action figures that I've had in my collection, almost all of them have had the black webbing. I can show you an example. So this is my Toy Bigs figure from the 1990s. I believe this was issued in 95. And as you can see, it's got that black webbing highlighted on the figure. So the fact that they didn't do it on this one is somewhat disappointing. And in terms of scale, basically he is a little bit taller than the Marvel Legends figure. So you can see he just stands slightly taller than this version. In terms of the series, if you are dealing with characters who are naturally somewhat taller, going forward, that might actually work out quite well. He's not completely out of scale with all 3 3/4 inch action figures. If I put them next to my version of Din Djarin from the Vintage Collection, you can see they stand roughly the same height. So yeah, he's not going to look completely out of context next to other 3 3/4 inch action figures. But again, he is slightly out of scale. But overall, he's probably going to fit into quite a number of those style vehicles as well. So anything that was made for 3 3/4 inch action figures, this version of Spider-Man will likely fit in without a problem. So in terms of articulation on this figure, at the head he gets a little bit of side to side, some front and back movement, and a spin. It's pretty much on a ball joint. At the shoulder, he can extend out. He also gets a 360-degree rotation at the shoulder. At the elbow, he gets bending back and forth like this, and also rotation. Nothing at the wrist, nothing at the waist. At the hip, he can kick out, kick forward, kick back a little bit. Nothing at the thigh. At the knee, he gets a bend, and also rotation back and forth, and then nothing at the ankle. So the articulation is not too bad, but it's certainly not as good as, say, the Star Wars Vintage Collection figures, but definitely an improvement over the Marvel Legends 3 3/4 inch action figures. And in terms of the overall lack of web detail on this, I may do some experimentation at some point. It does seem feasible that I might be able to pull like a black wash of paint over top of this that would fill in all those little grooves and actually give the illusion of the webbing on the figure. So I think it would work here on the legs as well, because you can see there's a lot of detail there, and all it would take is just a very light, thin down wash of black paint to actually bring that out. So I may do that at some point and actually make an attempt to improve the overall look of this figure. I'm also interested to see where they go going forward with this particular toy line. I know there's several other versions of Spider-Man and also Venom done currently, and I believe they're going to do Guardians of the Galaxy characters as well in the same scale. So I will be interested to see what they do with this series going forward, and there may be characters that I actually want to add to my collection done in this scale, depending on what they look like in terms of the overall detail. The sculpting on them is quite good, so even if the paint details aren't entirely there, there is the basis for actually making it look considerably better than it actually is. So we'll see what happens. That's all I have for you today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more reviews of action figures in the future, think about subscribing to my channel, because I will be covering a lot more of this kind of stuff in future videos. Until next time, I hope you're having a great day. And remember, with great power comes great responsibility. Thanks for watching.